This is the Velvet Door, where beyond the door, we discuss all things that are worthy. Hurry up before it's too late.
Welcome back to the Velvet Door. And as you guys know, of course, I am Shanjor, and I have a very, very special guest today. And let me tell you guys, I have been waiting almost a month plus to interview this special guest. And the reason why I wanted to bring her on is because for me, I have been a licensed cosmetologist for almost 10 years. And one of the things that I would have to say led me on this journey of not just doing hair, but taking care of hair is helping women that look like us understand the complexities that we have and even the advantages that we have of our hair types. Also, educating people about the dermatology that goes into understanding our scalp, our skin systems, and everything in between. We also want to be able to touch on the indigenous secrets from around the world that actually we should start taking more in consideration and incorporating in our everyday diets than using a lot of what we now modernize. A lot of chemicals, a lot of environmental problems, and even sometimes our water problems that actually plays a factor into our hair and how our hair is basically not becoming the best of its ability. So, with no further ado, because I don't want to take up too much time in my introduction, I'm going to introduce my special guest, and I want her to tell her all of her special accolades. She has been seen in multiple magazines. She has been seen with a lot of your favorite celebrities, and she's actually one of the pioneers of natural hair care in America. So, with no further ado, Miss Isis Brantley, how are you tonight, ma'am?
I'm blessed. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very grateful. I love this. I love the opportunity to do this. This is so beautiful.
Thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
So tell us, don't have us waiting because I want to hear all about you. I feel like you're such an interesting woman, and I've been in the shadows. You don't, like I say, you don't personally know me, but I've always been in the shadows. I've
Mhm.
heard your stories. I've
Mhm.
heard about the woman that was arrested for hair braiding. I heard these stories. I didn't know it was you all this time. And doing my research on you, learning your journey, and how you're still being a pioneer for hair care is, like I said, for me, especially as a stylist who actually takes my craft very serious, it just, like I said, it brings a warm spot for me. So tell us about who you are, what you do, and about your journey on being a hair care specialist.
I'm a mother of five beautiful, beautiful children. I am an advocate for women and children. I am an activist for justice and social change, and I'm a social entrepreneur. So I try to find solutions, or I do my very best to find solutions to all of the social issues that are facing melanated people on the planet, and especially the indigenous ones. I have worked really hard in making people happy and taking them off of the streets, especially women who were like homeless. And during my time coming up, they didn't have much, and welfare was the key thing. So I started the Welfare to Work program and just invited them to come inside my space and showed them what I was doing. Look, this is what I'm doing. I'm braiding hair. It's simple, it's in your blood, it's a part of your DNA. You can do this. And helping women to gain their power back through their talents and their gifts, because it's important for you to understand that that's what God created you for. You came back here to do something very special. And one of those things for me has always been the beautification of our people. So that's my journey, and I continue it to this day. I'm all over in Europe, all over in Paris, teaching young Black girls how to love themselves. And it starts with our strands, it starts with the roots, and the roots are everything. Our roots, everything.
Right. Beautiful, beautiful. So you said you have five beautiful children. What are some things that you tell them or remind them about their own hair? What was it like teaching them about learning to appreciate what grows out of their scalp?
It was very interesting because no matter where we were in Dallas, it didn't matter if we were north, if we were south, if we went west, no matter where we were, our, my kids would always experience younger children or their classmates saying something derogatory about their hair. So they knew themselves from birth. They understood their power and their strength. They understood their ancestors and what the ancestors had given them. They understood that their hair spiraled like their DNA. They understood that their hair was the only hair of its kind on the planet. So they had some really strong education about who they were from the very beginning. We did make sure that they understood how to work with their strands. I never gave my children sugar. I never fed my children animals. I never gave my children bread. I never gave my children rice. I never treated them as though they were less than divine. So I know that with everything that I've just named, if your diet consists of those things, then you definitely will have scalp issues and definitely a lot of mucus trying to come out of your blood and your skin. So they knew they were holistic children. They knew about eating for their beauty. So when they would go around these other children with their locks or their cornrows and braids, they would feel like they were the most beautiful child in the classroom, and it offended a lot of the racist parents because their children looked to my children as models. Like, you're so beautiful. What's your name? Ola Yinka. Oh my! I guess they was expecting Shaquita, someone like that. They weren't expecting this baby to have some uniqueness about herself. And I remember, in school, the parents saying that my daughter couldn't come to her friends because they make friends. I mean, we don't look at children and say, "Oh, you're white. I don't want to be around you. Oh, your hair is straight. I want it to look like mine." We don't look at them and do that. They look at us and do that. So the parents, because my daughter was like beaded up and really pretty, she wanted her to come to her birthday party. And the mama said, "No, she can't come to your birthday party because she has braids." Because all the little kids are going to be watching her. They're going to be wanting to be her. So that's how I raised my kids. My kids were raised holistically from the beginning. We understood
Beautiful.
the importance of the blood. And that's the main issue with everything that we suffer with. You name it,
Yeah.
alopecia, seborrhea, psoriasis, eczema, cancer, breast cancer, fibroid tumors. It's all about the blood. It's nothing but the blood and what goes into the blood. So they had a very fun life. It was just different. We didn't go trick or treating. They never ate sugar. Now the family might have did some sneaky stuff and gave them something when I wasn't looking, but pretty much they
Mhm.
never even sat in a white man's chair to be diagnosed for anything. They never went to no type of doctor. I was their doctor. I was their healer. They were herbal children, all five of them.
Wow.
Hmm.
That I have to say that is beautiful. And for the average person that is watches, they're going to be like, how are you able to even achieve that? In Dallas, Texas, how are you going to achieve that? So let's go back a little bit. So me growing up in America, my mom, I can't even tell you for how long my hair has been braided. I think that's probably why now I'm an adult. I experiment so much in my hair as an adult. Because when I was a little girl, my mom had me braided up. I had box braids, I had little braids, I had this one hairstyle. It was called the Betty the what was it? The Betty Bop. It looked like the Barney, the girl Barney, and it was like it connects in the middle. So I had the little braids that was standing up and it connected in the middle. So my mom was definitely, not, I would not say on the holistic side. She has tried, but not very successful. But when it came down to my hair and wearing it, having it braided, growing it, My hair was always very strong. It's very, very long. I have to say my mom did a really good job. So, one of the things though that people are now so against are hair greases. Like, for instance, for me as a little kid, I used to watch my mom literally be a chemist. Like, she will mix this medicated oil, mix it with the blue grease, and then she'll mix it something else and like this other herb, and like I don't know what she was mixing. It always had like a very weird smell. That's all I know. But my hair would always be grow. It would be strong. Like, so I used to like, I'm like my mom. Like, I don't think she knew that you're like a little chemist right now. You're being a chemist. You don't even know it, right? So what's your viewpoint though on
She had to know it. She had to know it because she was doing.
right,
We all
right,
were chemists during that time. A lot of us still were using the Crisco and the bacon grease, and
right,
a lot of people were still using the axle grease because we didn't have what a normal human would have for taking care of its hair. So we had to
right.
be creative. We had to come up with our own little concoctions. I remember Willie Morrow talking about in his book 400 Years Without a Comb. He was mentioning that back during the day, our people didn't have the right to shampoo their hair. They weren't allowed to look in the mirror, and they were not allowed to adorn themselves whatsoever. So the slave women of the house realized that using leftover dishwater liquid would put the moisture and oils back into their hair. And that's what they would be doing when, there was no one looking. So we've always known how to care for our hair. It's just that it was against the law in America. It was against the law to do any type of beautifying of yourself because they wanted to strip us of that because we're royal people by nature. We're going to look good. We're going to take care of our hair. We're going to show them how to look good. We show the whole world how to look good. The whole entire world make trillions of dollars on us showing them how to be pretty. And so that's always been our thing. The jewels, the jewelry, the royalty, the kingly essence, the queenly essence. That's us. This is a time of awakening. And we all want to know now. Why is it that we are the only race that know nothing about our hair? And we say it in a split second. Oh, I don't know how to do my daughter's hair. Oh, I, her hair just frustrates me. When I was in my battle, when I was in my battle with the state of Texas, that was the thing that I did. Once I had my trial, they said, well, we want you to go to the cosmetology school for 1 week just so you can see what it is that we're trying to teach
Mm.
you. When I went to the cosmetology school to see what it was that the cosmetologist was trying to teach me, they made me the teacher. I'm like, wait. You're supposed to be teaching me the ancestral way
Right.
of twisting, locking, and braiding. When I saw that they were just faking and using that to get people's money and to me, they were dehumanizing black hair in the cosmetology schools by giving us a couple of paragraphs in the Milady book, and by saying that our hair was stubborn. Just words that they would use to describe black hair, and it don't retain moisture, and it's stubborn, and it's very difficult. We live with that. That's slavery. That's black hair enslavement in America. We didn't wake up hating ourselves and not knowing how to use. We weren't allowed to even go to barber shops or beauty shops in America. Let that be known. When we had to get adorned, they would take us to the veterinarian. You would go to the veterinarians to be
Mm.
groomed like an animal. That's why we use the bristle brush. All the brushes and tools that we use were for animals. Animals. And they
Mm.
did this to our people, and that's why we're suffering years and years later. This is nothing that just happened, but what's happening right now is we are awakening. We're realizing our children are waking up. They're saying, no, Mama, I don't want to go to that school if I can't wear my Afro puffs. No, I don't want to go and graduate from that college if I can't wear my locks. They're standing up. And there's a call for action, because what I see is the Africans born there in Africa
Mhm.
are the ones that are a lot more uneducated than the ones over here whose families suffered and endured and persevered through slavery in America, which were still Africans.
Mhm.
We don't have a connection. Africans there in New York and Africans in Atlanta, Africans in Texas, they don't like each other. They don't like the other African American braiders.
Right. Right.
There is a gap. There's a disconnect. And when I was in New York, because my daughter lives there and my grandbabies live there, when I was in New York, I tried to go to the African salons to speak to them just because I'm American, African American. They don't want to talk to me. They don't care about my story. They don't care that all their African sisters and brothers and families in Texas are able to twist, lock, and braid hair because this nigger woman that you don't want to talk to is the
Mhm.
one that changed the laws.
Wow.
They look at us as less than. And we got to do something about that. It's really sad when you can't sit in their chair and tell them what you want and they respect it. That's
Mm.
cool.
Mm. Well, since you brought that up about the African connection, what do you think is the disconnect though? Since like you said, for African Americans, they feel that they do have these connections to the continent of Africa, but yet when they meet Africans from Africa, there is a disconnect in the relationships. What do you think is driving that?
It's I think what's driving that is money. I
Mm.
think what's driving that is capitalism. I
Right.
think what's driving that is a greed to be ahead of those ones that you've painted this horrible picture of in Africa. So how we move and and not move collectively with them, how we move ahead of them is to go and dominate them. And they blame us for having alopecia because they braid their hair tight, because they say that's what we ask for. We're treated totally different from Africans.
Mm.
Black Americans are treated totally different from Asians. We're treated totally different from Europeans. We're
Mm.
treated totally different from any other woman on the planet. And we're the ones that held it all together. It was Black Americans over here braiding before Africans came.
Right.
But because they have viewed us or seen us on the screens and the television, the television, as insignificant, trifling, and lazy beings, that's how they treat us. But that's not who we are. And
Mm.
if we could just get a conversation with them so we can create a sacred space for both of us, so we can hold space for each other. That's never been done, and that has to be done. They have the poorest reputation, but they're all over the country. They are everywhere in every city and state, but their reputation is not good.
Mm.
It's not good because we handle hair with love. We would love to see them love kinky, curly African hair.
Right.
Not feel that it's a problem. Oh, your hair, I had to break it down before I'm able to braid it. Why? We didn't have the heat over there in Africa. There was
Mm.
electricity over there in Africa, and we were braiding. They were braiding to go to war. They were adorning their hair and didn't have all this modern day stuff. Why are we so stuck on being capitalists? Why are we stuck on being like the Europeans? I hate to say that, but we love ourselves as Africans because people say, oh, you got a beautiful culture. You can do Senegalese twist. Y'all can do the best
Mhm.
cornrows, whatever. But we don't love ourselves as
Mm.
with the image, the exterior, the ambiance. We like to play on the outside, but the inside, we are rotting. We're dying only because of the we don't want to love ourselves, and it's sad. So that's my journey, is to just go worldwide and teach love.
So,
The
you,
love.
what would be your words for, um, I guess we'll veer into the political aspect now since we're here, and then we'll come back to the hair. But I do think this is a really great topic. What are your thoughts about Black Americans who say that although they may have ancestry that's from another continent or another country, they are Black American and they have established a unique culture within that they should not have to be forced to look for other people to accept them. How do
what
you see
what
that?
what what is the unique culture? They all die fibroids. They all got high blood pressure. They all dealing with thyroid problems. They all have no hair. They all are obese. What is the culture? Is that the culture? I
I
don't
would say that's the
understand
culture.
it. Is that the culture? Because
But
they
like
created
the
this.
music, the foods,
It, everything is
no.
out of alignment. Everything is out of alignment. So
Okay.
yes, you have created this beautiful soul food culture,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to be revered for that. That's killing our people.
Mm-hmm.
We are dying at a higher rate right now. Cancer has come back with a vengeance for our people. What is a Black American culture? Tell me, what is that? That's getting these big, you know, dollar gigs. I don't even know how to say it. Getting these big contracts to go trash out hotels, to go ride around in Mercedes and Benzes and Rolls Royces and embarrass us. What are we doing? Is it to call the Black American women bitches and hoes everywhere we go? What is a Black American culture? We Is it to put Santa Claus hat on and expect Santa Claus to come to the ghetto? What are we talking about? I'm confused. I'm confused. And so are our children. Is it about leaving our children and becoming, I just don't understand this phase for Asians to promote what we have brought to the industry. I got all these women that keep calling and telling me they're getting paid all this money to model for the Asians for their beauty supply stores. Why don't we do it for ourselves? What's a Black American culture? I don't understand. You're African blood. Your ancestors fought. They didn't only fight in the diaspora, but they're fighting in South Africa. They're fighting in Namibia. They're fighting in Ethiopia. They're fighting in Kenya. They're fighting in Nigeria. They're fighting everywhere. What is wrong with this picture? An Asian is going to say, I'm an Asian. I'm an Asian, but I may be, um, I may be a Chinese, or I may be, I'm an
Right.
Asian. And Europeans, they know that they're Caucasians or Europeans, but they may be Scottish or they may be whatever. We're the only ones we're talking about. We African Americans. When you're African, are we Black Americans? Where is Black land? Can you tell me where Black land is?
I can't. I can't.
We know where Africa is,
Right.
but land, I don't get it. I'm confused about every teaching that the powers that be have trained us to feel and think we are. We've got to take that all away, redo ourselves, reinvent ourselves, cleanse ourselves. We're the only ones that are not being cleansed on the planet. This whole thing with the Holocaust of 500 million Africans coming through the Atlantic trade. We never, our ancestors never what were cleansed. There was a moment of atonement for our people. We've never healed. We don't even know what baptism in the river is for a nation of people that underwent the most dehumanizing oppression ever committed in the history of mankind. We need to heal. Is something wrong with us? Look at our children. It's just, you got two sides. You can choose the road less traveled and reinvent yourself and be a
Mhm.
part of the light and be a light worker and be a person who has come back, or a soul that has returned to elevate and ascend, or you can go down the dark side and be everything that these people say we are. You can be all of that. But what we know we are, and we are the black dollar currency. We know that much. That's
Right. So with that being said, like you said, um, you feel that African Americans are not um, being serious about how they are viewing themselves, you would say, to the world, and how they are preserving
mhm,
themselves and what you feel history is.
that's
So,
right.
what would be your viewpoints of those that feel that they are not? They are misclassified Indigenous people from the Americas. In fact, um, they may have proof of that. They may have relations and actively enrolled to tribes. Do you feel that they as well play into the issues that are going on
The
right now?
psychological damages that have been done.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can understand that that what they're doing, the work that they're doing to claim their indigenous, status. That's very beautiful. But on a very basic level, like an elementary level, a very childlike level, we have to start. We have to begin again. We have to start over again. The indigenous uh, people of this land versus the indigenous people of Africa. We're all the same. We're all the same blood. That we're part of the human race.
Do,
We're,
do you think that's where the disconnect is, though? Because
yeah.
so to my belief, I do believe that we've done this before. Like we have been so advanced that we traveled around
Yes.
the world. I don't believe that this is the first time. You know?
Yeah.
So I do have enough of ability to say if our people were as advanced as they were, you have pyramids all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
That there was some type of travel,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when it comes down to where we are today, being that some people say we're in a fallen state worldwide. The
We're in a
truth.
rising state. We're in both. We're
So
in both.
we're like in that in
Only
between,
the
that
others have.
rebirth.
We're in both. Yeah. Everything is duality, everything. And those of us that are ready to ascend and to grow and to create and to have our own everything, anything that we can imagine, those are the ones that are going to bring, that are now, like yourself, bringing love, peace, and awareness back to the planet. We are awakening.
And
These.
the reason why I asked that question is because you know, because of colonization and everything that's happened,
Mhm.
a lot of people are finding their stories, or they've always been quiet about their stories, and they've
Yes.
always been trying to make sense of it. And I feel that in America, like you said, like there's just weird like identity crisis that's occurring, right? But it's a beautiful thing because everybody is so intrigued of knowing history now. Everybody's intrigued and understanding their spirituality now. So if I feel like if this didn't happen, even the conflicts that we're having with Africans or Caribbeans, and I
Yeah,
have half Caribbean
it's
lineage,
all good. Yeah.
I feel like this clash had to happen to
Mhm.
rebirth the
Yes,
understandings of who we are of this planet.
nature. Yes, Mother
Right.
Nature. And you need both. We need both. So Mother Nature is cleansing away all the old to bring in the new. She's ushering in the new seeds. And we are those new seeds. Our children are those new seeds. The star seeds are here. The avatars are here. We're here. And I love that. Are we? must do is continue to grow and expand and ascend and be creative and loving and walk softly on the planet and respect and have gratitude.
I love it. I love it. I'm look, listen. Me, like every like my whole journey this last like well 6 years, I've been on a deep journey. And I was living in Georgia. I'm originally from New York, and I told you I'm from New York. But then I was living in Georgia, and then I came back to New York because I said, I feel like a piece is missing. I need to start making sense of my reality. I was
Mhm.
going on my spiritual awakening, but I was missing the aspect of like family. And a lot of my um close family was here. Most of my family is like up here that I know. Once I started reconnecting with my family and I started understanding their stories, I didn't know that my family did so many great things in New York State. I didn't know these things. Like,
Yeah.
and I feel kind of embarrassed sometimes saying it out loud because I'm like, because now I look at my own parents like, why you didn't teach me? Why you didn't tell me this? So I
Yeah.
feel that even within everything that has happened to our people on this continent, we still triumph and we were able to still make history. You
That's
know,
right,
a
baby.
lot of our families are in history books, they are in museums.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
what are some stories about your family? And
Yeah.
you can tell us, besides you, because we know you an icon.
Yes, I came from a family that was very, very rich in spirituality. A lot of my people from Mali um, were in they were geniuses. They were divinatory geniuses. And so I saw that in my mother and I saw it in my grandmother. They were very, very strong in spirituality. And when I started doing research and I became a priestess, and then I got my roots reading done, I found out that my people were spiritual geniuses, and they did readings and they did healing rituals on their family members. This is how they stayed very strong to the water. My energy is connected to water. Everything that I do is centered around water. I'm made up of water. Everything I do with the healing of all my family, my children, my mother used to do the same thing, has to be with water. So my whole thing is water filled with blessings, and water has no enemies. That is what I learned about my family line. That's my ancient family. My family from the slavery, saying from 1895 all the way up to now, was all about the freedom that a lot of my family members were a part of. And they talked about my grandfather and my great great grandfather and my great great grandfather who were revolutionaries. I know that my great grandmother owned her own grocery store. So a lot of what me and my children became, because they're all entrepreneurs too, with degrees, but they work for themselves. I became an entrepreneur. My mother was an entrepreneur. So those type of things followed me from hundreds of years before. So I'm happy to know that I have a history beyond slavery in America, and that I'm still putting my Akashic records and pieces together about who I am. I'm a very different type of seed that has blossomed in my family. I am considered very odd and different because the system and the indoctrination of colonialism could not break me, even though I was brought up in a household where there was so much fear that if you went across the track you may not come back. Just the fear that my mother had, like, I want to save my children because I know that the KKK is out there. I know that there's a lot of shootings out there. I know that these people are they are wandering around in our neighborhoods, stealing our women and our children. So they were very, very frightened by that, and they kept us protected. They kept us protected. But I broke out away from just the enslavement part of it. I fear no man. And I understand that it's important for me to know that God is you. God is in you. God is you, not anything outside of you. Oh, I'm waiting for God to come. Well, He's already there. You're the greatest creation of God. So I talk different. I am different. I'm the oldest of five. My mother had me, got pregnant with me at 14. By the time she was 23, she had all five of her children. All five of her children are remarkable children, but we're all different. I chose not to be a slave. I chose not to have a slave mentality. I chose to know more about myself. And the elders in my family that wouldn't speak about my history, like my daddy's side of my roots, they don't talk about who we are. They just don't talk about it. So I know who my great
So
grandmother.
when it comes to family history, are you all from Texas?
Um, we all of us are from Texas except for my dad's side. It's California,
Oh
but we
wow.
yeah we migrated from South Carolina all the
Oh,
way to we got to Texas. But my daddy's side is California. So and but that
wow.
I don't know. I don't know my grandfather.
Oh,
Um, my grandmother left my daddy's daddy and never talked about him ever again. Never share. And that's it. You said it earlier. We have to share our stories. You had to return like the Sankofa bird. You had to go back and retrieve your history. You
that's
got
right.
that's all we have. And that's why I look at our people and go, like, you can't be just satisfied shaking your butt and calling each other names and eating pizza.
Yeah.
Who does that?
No, it's because of, like you said, it's the lack of information that's transferred down from generations, right? So
Yeah.
you see how like your family they migrated from South Carolina to Texas. My family, I have a family line that came from South Carolina and came up to New York. So they was like in the low country and they came up to New York. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
so
Because you guys are smarter. I always look at New York people as being more advanced. Not that you're advanced, but
girl,
maybe
no.
but you really are thinking more critical about things. And that's different from Texas. I just moved from Texas to Georgia, to Atlanta, because I did my work in Texas. Everybody is free in Texas. They're free to twist, lock, and braid hair. At one point, you could not even braid in your house. The people were knocking at the door saying, I heard that you're braiding in here. You're going to jail like that
Yeah,
lady Isis if you don't stop braiding. We can even braid outside. So now
that's
everybody
right.
is coming here, like from Chicago, New York, Michigan, everywhere, just to set up braiding and natural hair businesses. So I said, let me go and spread my wings. Let me just go to Georgia so I can share my story and
Yeah.
get people interested in my book and kind of, go and do a tour into the Black historical colleges. I just want to help our people understand. Once we understand that your hair it grows like the trees, it grows up high because that's your divine connection to the heavens. And once we understand it like that, Africans believe that God lived in our hair. I believe that the essence of the Most High. We have the nine ethers. We have the pineal gland that's more activated. We have that spiral like our DNA. Everything in nature looks like our hair.
That's true.
So
No,
all of that chlorophyll, all of that in your hair is very powerful, and it's time that people wake up to that.
so what do you think about because we're in an era of enhancements and I have to say growing up never allowed to play with it. I definitely, as I became an adult, became something convenient sometimes. What do you think about like wigs, extensions, and like, cause just like the lace front craze. What else? The clip ins. You got the micro links. What do you think?
You know what? I think it's all creativity.
Right. Yeah.
And I think a woman deserves to be as creative as she wants and make herself whoever she wants to be. And I really don't appreciate men trying to have an opinion of that. Because if she wants to be a woman that creates wigs and wear wigs, I just did a photo shoot today. And I was in my very childlike state, my playful state. Like if I was back during the day when I wanted to really have a lot more courage and confidence in myself, what would I have done? So I went and picked out all these different looks that I wanted, and I got me a straight wig because I want to see myself in that. I really feel that we can do these things as long as we are aware of what we're doing to our natural strands. So
Yeah.
if these things are abusive to our natural strands, then that may be another issue. But if you just want to be creative and do something different to your hair, I feel like you should have the right to do that. Even if it's pressing it, even if it's straightening it, I don't care. Whatever you want to do, freedom, freedom, freedom. You got freedom.
And for me, like I've been always hesitant about wigs, and then I feel like wigs today, these are not the wigs from like my grandma's time. Like some of these these wigs are different. These wigs,
Right?
they can actually look really good,
Yeah.
but like you said, if you're not harming your hair. So one of the issues that we're having for women is that they're wearing enhancement, they're wearing wigs, but their edges are gone.
Mhm.
Sometimes they keep their wigs on for 2, 3 months at a time. They're not washing their hair underneath. They're not
Yeah.
treating their hair.
We're
Yeah,
abusing ourselves. They are gluing the wigs on to stay on between my
yeah,
nose. But because we don't have any value for hair, it doesn't matter. I would watch Jada Pinkett get her braids doing her little different series that she would do for different shows. And I knew that the braider was braiding, her strands were very soft, braiding the tight stroke braid on her. And you're pulling it back and you're doing things with it. I don't think there's not one person on this planet that know how to braid correctly, that knows how to add to our hair.
I know I can barely braid. This is my little braid.
That's your own hair, right?
I'm sorry.
Is it extension?
Yeah, so this is extensions. Yeah.
So as long as you braid it softly and not okay, so you know the amount of hair that you put that on, right?
Hmm.
It has to match and be equal to the amount of extension you use to put it on. So if
Right.
you put a little strand of your hair and then a big strand of the extension hair, you know that's gonna weigh it down and
Right.
out, right? And
What
pull
do
it
you
out.
what,
I don't think
what's your
people
thoughts about
yeah.
locks?
I love locks. I have locks. But I also see how back to this braiding thing, how these Africans put a whole lot of hair on 3-year-olds. You should see this baby, this biracial baby, 3-year old came to the salon with a head full of long braids down her butt.
Oh man.
I just cried. I'm like, who would do that to a baby? But I love locks, and I don't like the YouTube University's way of teaching us to do locks, like the palm rolling and the gel and the
Yeah.
comb and the dryer and sit up under there and dehydrate your hair some more with all those chemicals in it and then let me
Some
braid.
people are using gel. Gel is not good. Beeswax.
Yes, beeswax, all of that, and then braiding it down. No, we're just
Yeah.
abusing hair. We have to learn. We need to create our own school. Like you're a cosmetologist, and
Yes.
I am a. I don't know what I'm. I am a. What am I? I'm just a healer through the hair. You're
I like that.
I'm just a healer through the hair. We need to pull this together and really like do some. I'm serious, Queen. Do some charitable uh,
Yes.
fundraising balls, crown balls for our
Listen, I've done I've done so many hair shows. I've actually one of my biggest hair pieces was a big apple, and
yeah,
it was made like braids. So I did like so I had the red braiding hair, like similar to color
yeah,
you have on.
yeah.
I covered my apple with it because I made the silhouette out of styrofoam, and then the actual stem was a big chunky green braid.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I've done a lot of hair
We
shows.
we got to do something like that to have our own to have our own school. I'm trying to find another word for academy. Our
Oh yeah,
own Healing Through the Hair Academy, where we're teaching people all over again. I don't care if you are a cosmetologist, if you are, already braiding and you feel like you already doing a good job.
right.
Everybody and anybody can come to the school, so we can teach them how to heal through the hair.
Well,
That's it.
well, for me, when I got my license, I was in the state of Georgia at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the master cosmetologist license. That's why I did like a year and a half of training. I didn't do my lady, but I went through the pivot point. I think that was like a newer system. So and back to what you said in the beginning, how it was like a small section for our type of hair, right?
Right.
And even not even just our type, because I feel like I do have curly hair, but I've met textures that were a little more curlier,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I wanted to always know, I always wanted to know how to cornrow. I'm not gonna lie. I have like this weird unorthodox way of cornrowing. Don't judge my braids.
It
They
sounds like
at least they get braided.
you over
I have a weird way of braiding,
so
but
overhand is East African. Overhand
uh-huh.
braiding is usually the East African.
Oh
That's
wow.
Africans braid Kenya from Kenya,
Oh wow.
Ethiopia, but the underhand braid is the West African rhythm.
Oh wow.
So it's different,
Right.
tribes that did different rhythms, and we naturally got them both. You
Right.
just said you naturally braid over.
Yeah,
That's
because I feel like that was like at the time that was like the best way because my mom she was a great person at cornrowing. She's always cornrowing my hair. Um, but I had to kind of learn my own unorthodox way, and I had learned
yeah.
this little way. I mean, as long as it gets stuck to the head, like I don't even care. But but
Yeah.
um, but one of the things I wanted to say about like the extensions and the wigs is that you know, I know at one point this was something in ancient times where it was more like your higher class. Sometimes were able to wear
Hmm.
these type of things. And I know I hear people criticize extensions and say you should match your hair texture. I do believe that as well. There are wigs that are kinky. Like there are wigs, there are extensions that are kinky.
Hmm.
And if like I'm with you on that. If a woman wants to experiment, because I've had no hair. I remember one time I shaved all my hair off.
Hmm.
At one time, I had locks. I,
Hmm.
I locked my hair for a few years,
Hmm.
right? At
Yeah.
one time, I just wanted to wear my silk presses, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I'm like,
Yes.
I got to a point where I said, you know what?
Yes.
I want my hair because I don't want to cut it no more. But I
Right.
still want to play with my hair, right? I don't want to do too much. I tried coloring my natural hair. That didn't turn out well. So I stopped doing that. So where I'm at right now with my hair, I'm in like this I want to retain my length, right? Like my
Hmm.
natural hair is like here. So I want to retain my length, but I just moved to a new location. So I'm a little skeptical about, how you have hard water and you have soft water, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
you have some waters that have too much minerals, they have too much. So
Yeah.
what's your experience in working with even the water in
Yeah.
our hair?
Yes. Yes. That's so true. It's
Yeah.
so many toxins in the water. Hmm. And it's harsh too
Mhm.
on different textures of hair. I think
Right.
hair. It would be nice if we could go back to putting natural water, spring water in a bowl and shampooing our hair that way versus
Right.
using the water from the faucet. It's everything's bad now. It's just like everything you do, you have to figure out how to be creative to work around it. Let's just be creative. Let's
Because
be alchemists, and let's make this stuff work for us with what we.
not even just the water, the air, pollution.
It's yeah, it's the
Yeah.
environment, most definitely. It's so much that we have to concern ourselves with. I think the best thing for us to do is to be able to feed our blood
Okay.
minerals and use a lot of herbs daily, like just water, not your pink juice, your purple juice, your green juice, none of that. Water with a little bit of dandelion, a little bit of astragalus, a little bit of burdock root in the water, and just constantly feed our blood these herbs. The other thing is the nervous system. We need to work with our nervines because that has a lot to do with our hair stagnating too. You know, it has so many different stages that it go through when it's, growing. And then when it just stops growing, you want to make sure that you're doing things to stimulate the blood to activate the growth of your hair. Like for the nervines, we should be on kelp, red raspberry. We should be taking passion flowers, skull cap. All the herbs that are gonna really stimulate our blood and calm our nervous system down. Like we've been way too anxious for so much, but we are busy women. We're boss ladies, we're entrepreneurs, we're business owners, and we definitely need our herbs. We need our herbs with digestive enzymes. We should be on our chlorophyll. There just needs to be a place where our people can go and say, okay, give me a list. Because we don't know. And the way we eat fast on the go. We.
So tell
Mhm,
your experience, like we briefly went over that you went through the tragic experience where you were arrested for hair braiding in your own home. And like I said, me being a cosmetologist, I was told that all the time. Like state board's gonna come, they're gonna arrest y'all. You're not supposed to be doing hair. I listen. I did hair in my home, quick weaves, my little messed up braids. I did all of it in my home, right? But with that experience that you had, it has really sparked a movement of
mhm,
more women. And
mhm,
it's not even just what we proverbially say Black women. I see Hispanic women now, women that may have a more of a wavier texture. They
mhm,
are even coming out and wearing their wavy textures, or they might want to
mhm,
make it a little more coily to have a different effect.
mhm,
Um, Going into where now the Crown Act is passed.
mhm.
Did you have any role or any per se with the Crown Act?
Well, let me go back a little bit. I got arrested in my salon. It was
Yes, okay.
seven cops that
Wow.
to the salon and carted me off like a common criminal. I knew that it was illegal and against the law to braid in the house, but I had been in the house for 10 years. And then when I opened up a storefront, that's when the law came after me. The other
God.
thing, and that was the first 1995, 96, 97 was the kickoff of the Crown Act because we were fighting for, there were a lot of airline stewardess being fired, a lot of people in corporate America being fired, a lot of children were being kicked off of different auxiliaries because they had locks or braids. So that was the kickoff of the Crown Act. 20 years later is when I was able to get the governor to sign the bill into law. 20 years later. So all that time we were kicking doors open. There were police officers protesting in the streets of Dallas. There were police chiefs that were being kicked off the police force because they had locks and things like that. So the Crown Act is nothing new to Texas. It's nothing new to Texas. But now you have younger kids that were maybe 1 years old during the time I was 30, and now they're older enough, and I'm 60 and they're 30, and they're kicking off the movement with the Crown Act as though it is something new. It's nothing new. I want people to know someone went to jail for that. Somebody got locked up for that. All over the country in Iowa, they were giving the sisters that were immigrants and the sisters that were black Americans, they were giving them 2 and 3 years in prison for braiding hair. There were sisters in Michigan. There were sisters in California, Joanne Cornwell, who created the whole concept of sister locks. She took on the movement there in California. So there were sisters, Pamela Farrell. She and her husband, they started the movement in DC, and they started an organization. She was one of the first people that was told that she could not braid in her garage there in DC. So this was happening all over the country, but the Crown Act happened to be taken on by Dove, and that's why it's got so much publicity, and
Okay.
there's been so much promotion and so much advertisement about it, because now the white people want to come in and say, oh, that's, yeah, it's unfair for them to say you can't have a job because of your crown, or the kids shouldn't be kicked out of school. But that's been going on. That's been
Right. Yeah.
that's new. So no, I didn't have. Okay, so two things. Politics again. The lady that was chose to head the movement in Dallas, did they pass the Crown Act in New York? They didn't, right?
I can check.
It,
Let me check on that while you talk. I'm checking that right
yeah,
now.
it's not passed all over the world, all over the country. It's just a few states. Well, the lady that they chose to, Retta Bowings, chose to spearhead the movement. She left me out on purpose. See, I'm too radical for people. She left me out on purpose, and she and another lady who's a personality, a television personality, a news reporter, got
Right.
together, and they made sure that I did not know that they were going down to the state board to advocate for the Crown Act. They left the most important piece out. They left me out. I
Wow.
won unanimously already in the House and in the Senate. But they just shut the door on them and said, I'm sorry, come back 2 years later. We're not passing no Crown Act. They didn't have me there to speak on our behalf. And
Wow.
that's what happens. So the politics is played because people want to play in the hands of the money. So you got Dove, spearheading it, backing it, and putting money into it. So then you got these politicians running for office, and they all get together and say, we're the one. They don't even have natural hair. They don't even know about a natural movement. And they're there to represent us and to speak for us. I don't think so. So we lost. So no, they didn't pass the Crown Act in Texas.
Well,
Uh,
it said that on July 3rd, 2019, the New York governor signed the Crown Act, which stands for Create a Respectful Open World for Natural Hair.
right. So they passed it in New York. It's going to come around to Texas, but we got 2 more years. And I'm sure it's not passed in Georgia either. I know it's not passed in South Carolina, none of the southern states. But well, here's my thing. Why do we have to keep going state to say, oh, you're free in this state, but you're not free in this state? Oh, you need Juneteenth over here because you were free, but you didn't know you were free for
Right.
2 to 4 years. It's just too much. Why we can't just have one law that says cut the red tape, let these people free?
Do you have any connections to Juneteenth? Because I know that's a Texas holiday. Do you
I,
have anything that was
I
connected?
do. I celebrated it this past year in Atlanta, but I still don't understand it. What are we celebrating, y'all? I don't get what Juneteenth is about. Now, I could see if we were protesting or if we were marching or if we were celebrating in the street about our freedom. Just having a gala affair about the Crown Act and why it's important, but not celebrating being locked up and oppressed for 2 extra years when you were free. We're
Mm,
never free. Even though they tell us that, we've never been free. If we were free, then the Constitution would read differently. To
Mm,
this, it would be totally different, and it's not. So I don't get. You're not going to see me. I'm not a stepping fetch it. I'm not a that dancing black person
right.
for entertainment. That's just not who I am. So I think we should be taking these principles of Kwanzaa and really going through them in detail. Like, what does unity mean? Do we have unity? Is the unity really bringing us together? Yes, it is, little by little, bit by bit. But we spend a lot of money on these rap songs and all this unproductive stuff, like lots of money. We can't spend money to come together and be a one proud, noble, royal people. That's what I don't understand. Our values are misplaced. I don't understand why we can't, exercise these seven principles: self determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose. What is our purpose? I just need somebody. We just keep hearing, oh, Professor Griff is coming to speak at Kwanzaa. Well, what is Professor Griff doing? I don't want to keep hearing people speak about the same stuff that we already know about. Why aren't we bringing solutions to the table?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I feel like in this age of awakening that we're going through right now, so they say that this is the age of Aquarius, right? There's a lot of people who want to take the role as teachers now. Everybody wants to teach and speak,
Yeah,
but they're not doing enough self work for
yeah,
themselves, So I'm kind of with you on that because it's like everybody has something to say. Everybody wants to speak for other people as well. But
yeah.
it's like when we start looking at your vessel is empty. So it's
That,
time for you to pour into yourself.
I've been looking at the stomach. I've been looking at how healthy you look. I've been looking at everything. Like, you can just do all that preaching you want to. You know, it's not showing me anything. Like, it's not even making you feel anything good. You're not even being honest with that. We got to break it all down and take it all off. Take all the damn mask off. Take the mask off. Become transparent. Let's look at each other. Get the mirror and really look at each other. Look at ourselves.
Yeah.
Show the mirror to yourself. Because you're looking at me and I'm looking at you. Let's fix ourselves. This is how we're going to do it. Like, all these different speakers need to have a way for us to start building on generational equity.
Right.
What power do we have? How do we bridge the gap between the younger generation and the older generation? What are we doing? Intergenerational dialogue. We need to have more of that. It's a lot that needs to be said and a whole lot of cleanup work that needs to be
Right.
done. I don't know how the leaders and things are so oblivious to the fact that you're sitting up here talking about God is going to save us. God has come back. This is the last days. And you own your last days because you have high blood pressure. You got diabetes. Telling people, oh, I got diabetes, and but God is coming back to save us. What? What? God needs our help. We need to be helping God. I don't understand how we make sense of it. It just don't make sense to me. It just doesn't. And like you said, it's such a strong awakening now. Age of Aquarius is this is the age of knowledge. It just don't make sense. You got to make me understand what you're saying. Because when I look at your vessel and I look at your soul's contract, you're not fulfilling that contract for yourself. Light energy when you see it. I feel sorry for our people, and I'm going to keep praying for us. And I thank you. I thank you so much
You
for
know,
being brave enough to come forward with this information. Just, and with connection, dialogue. We're family. We're family.
well, my viewpoint is this. Like I I'm not in the business of wanting to tell somebody else's story. I'm in the business of I want us to tell our own stories, but I also want us to acknowledge that at some point we've come here for a reason and we cross paths, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. So
Big
I
family.
leave space for
Yeah,
us to tell our truths.
yeah,
I know that even within our truths, some people are not going to agree. Some people are not going to resonate. Some people are going to say, "Well, that's not what I make of that, and that's not what I saw." I understand all that, but like you said, I feel like the times that we're in right now, this is like you said, this is the rebirth, and in rebirthing, I feel that especially as women and as nurturers, as healers, it's
hmm,
our role to be a little more gentle in this process because the world right now is judgmental. Everything is harsh. More of
mm,
our people coming homeless. More
mm,
of our people are even if they are, and let's say Black immigrants, they're being deported. More of our people they're going through I just saw that there was some genocides happening around the world. And you could even say that here in America there's a silent genocide with
yeah,
our healthcare system that's
yeah,
happening.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So with all this going around, it's like we need places where we can just take everything off and can I just be me? Can I
yeah,
just be me for a second? Can I be artistic? Can I be
yeah,
creative? You
yes,
know,
yes,
can I dwell and can I give thanks to my ancestors, but can I
yes.
also give thanks to myself because I will be that ancestor too one
And
day,
you
right?
are that ancestor. You are.
That way.
You
So
are the
we like
turn.
the journey, we do have to find, and I found myself becoming into one of those, like you said, those speakers that just want to, you find yourself becoming very combative. You always get for the next fight, but you never have a chance to just sit back and just say, I want to just enjoy this moment. I want to,
Yeah,
everything that comes in this pain that
yeah,
even I see my family going through,
yeah.
I want to enjoy these birthing pains of where we're about to go.
That's right. That's right, because we're being reborn again. We are back in the womb, just like you said, especially the women. And birthing pains are not always the best feeling, but they're so beautiful after you see, what we are creating. And we're creating some good energy. I love it. It's women's time. It's our time to really hold space for one another. It's our time to tell our stories around the world, and it would be nice to have a platform where our people can do that. Some of us just feel like we're trapped and we can't speak anymore. So, yes, we definitely need sisters like yourself
Yeah,
to
and like I've told people, I'm willing to take a little bit of hits and fire. Because like I said,
mhm,
I know everybody's not gonna agree with even like the conversation of wigs, hair, extensions, the
mhm,
conversation of do you wear your hair straight or curly. Some people don't like kinky hair. Some people don't like a big old afro. I
yeah,
like a big afro. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? If I'm not, because this right here, I can't do this all the time. This is too much. Doing all this, I had a wine curl this and do this like. There's times I just get up and I put my hair in a big old pineapple puff and I'm
yeah.
walking around and I look cute.
Right, that's right. So I hear men say, I'm working with somebody that's doing the Juneteenth, Bob Johnson. I don't know. Do you know Bob Johnson and Talia Wajid? Talia Wajid,
That sounds familiar, but no.
they used to have the world's natural hair expo every
I've
year.
heard of that.
And
I've heard of that. I never went. I've only been to Warner Brothers hair shows.
oh, yeah. Well, he's trying to do a natural hair competition
Ooh.
in June for Juneteenth, and he wants me to spearhead that. And then I'm thinking of a children's crown parade. I just want
Love that.
I want the crown to be visible in a parade with the children. But I was saying that to say he feels that black women, I hate it when men try to tell women who to be. Black women, they need to wear their real hair and stop wearing all these wigs and stuff. I say, but you like to be with women with wigs.
I'm
And
saying.
he said, and I said, they be straight. They be straight. So what are you saying? Oh, yeah. He's just like, yeah, be straight, but I just need to stop it. Let the women be women, no matter what. So I don't like it when some other person tries to say, oh, that's an elephant. That elephant needs to be a bird. He don't be no damn elephant, you know?
And there's some women, they look great with short hair. Like, for instance, like my dad, his current lady, she's a very beautiful woman, and she has no hair. Like, she's literally bald, and
Yeah.
he loves it. So it's like every man, like you said, that you can't define a woman by how they choose to wear their hair, because
Mhm.
there is a man that's willing to love a woman even if she has no hair.
Right, baby. That's right. Even if she has no hair.
No
And
hair.
but you know, and that's where our society is going because of all the abuse with black hair in the world. So we're going to that point where we really don't have a lot of choices anymore. Like, and we have to make our own products and we have to make our own, like your mother was doing, concoct some special oils and magic together because literally I hear biracial families say this all the time. There's nothing out there for their children. There's
Yeah.
no products out there that really actually work for the children. So you see them doing a lot of extensions now because it's easier and they don't have to worry about detangling and shampooing it or whatever. So we're going down in a spiral. It's like a spiral effect until we be clever and creative enough to come up with some solutions. We have to come up with some solutions.
What do you think about women's like mental health? And because I like nowadays women are, like you said, they're working more. Even if they have kids, they still have to work sometimes 7 days a week.
Yeah,
Um, the time
it's
it takes
that.
their natural hair, it becomes another job in itself,
That's right.
and a routine that they sometimes they can't keep up, right? So,
It,
what do you think about women and their mental health and how that plays a role into their hair here?
I see that it's an epidemic right now, and I look at even my own daughter and her three children. I just look at her, and I really feel sorry for her. I didn't have as much trouble raising five children back then than there is with families today, and it's because they're stressed out. They're so stressed out that postpartum, thing is taking a toll on them. Sometimes it lasts 3 and 4 and 5 years. It's the depression, postpartum depression is really serious right now, especially with new moms. And I can see the mental health issues deteriorating for our women. Like they need more help. And I tell my daughter, if you would change your diet, that would help to balance your mental health. But they don't understand that because it's just they're angry, and there's nobody there, and they need extra people to help with the children, and they need people to help them, and they just feel like it's way 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 too much. But I see it happening even in my business, in my career, like as a braider, as a teacher, as an educator. I see women coming in all the time. They always ask, I want to take a class, but I can't bring my baby. And I'm like,
Oh,
yeah, you can
mm,
baby. It's okay to
yeah,
bring a baby. But yeah, it's a lot of stress and mental stress on our mothers right now because they don't
yeah.
have help, and they just had babies, and they're not eating well, and they're not drinking the right things. They're not putting the right medicine inside their bloodstream, inside their organs. They're
So,
just doing what they can do.
if you can give encouraging words to like women, single moms, even some married moms, because even married women, it's not easy.
They're into mental
Yeah,
stress.
you're stressed out, and
Yeah,
a lot of it is because of the economy.
men-
A lot of it deals with you always feel like you never have enough time. And it's a weird struggle of balance. Yeah. So if you can give encouraging words to women, period, around the world, especially women like us that are going through what they're going through. And I know alopecia, um, the hair falling out,
Depression. Mm-hmm.
all this, and even while you're pregnant, all these things happen to your hair as well. What are
Mm-hmm.
some encouraging words you would give to women, and especially young women that are going through this alone?
I want all the women that are suffering with this depression with their hair and the mental depression with losing your hair to buy my book, Stolen Crown. It's dedicated to my client that committed suicide because a licensed cosmetologist took out all her hair. She felt like she could never be a real woman ever again. She tried doing it twice and told me about the first time and she forgot to put the bullets in. I did her hair to cover the spot that the cosmetologist removed. He just removed one big spot on her crown. And so I covered it by doing a lacing braiding technique, but she still turned around. I did her hair on that Friday. This is the second time she'd come back. That Monday, she killed herself. Get the book. There's a lot of good information in the book, and it talks about eating for your beauty. It talks about herbs that you can start incorporating, and there are like 50 stories of women telling their stories about what they went through mentally about their hair. Read other stories because that empowers you as well, learning that you're not the only one. Someone else has felt this way about their hair. I recommend the book because there's a lot of remedies in there and just learning more about hair care. What is a shaft? What is a hair root? What's connected to hair roots? What does it mean when you say composition of hair? What are these compositions? How do they break down? What's the hydrogen? What's the nitrogen? What's the phosphorus? What foods are connected to these different elements? Those things, just to educate ourselves about hair, is going to be the most important thing. And then just taking time to love yourself, taking time to not be so busy, not having so much to do. Where do you schedule out your time? Setting boundaries for yourself is a true sign of self love. And that's what I would say to all women. You got to love you. You can't expect someone else to say, oh, you're not drinking enough water. Oh, you didn't take your minerals. Oh, you didn't put enough of the vegetables on your plate. Oh, you're eating way too many animals. Nobody's going to say that to you. You got to know, I can't do the fried foods. I'm already stressing. Let me get some nervines. Let me get some herbs in my body. Let me start taking care of myself. Let me go and take a spiritual bath. Let me get in the water for about 30 minutes. Let me put some salt and some Epsom salt and some healing salt in my water. Let me pray for about 30 minutes before I pick up the dead gum phone. Let me just
Mhm.
give myself the love that I'm looking for someone else to give to me. And believe me, mothers and women, goddesses, priests and priestesses, nobody is going to do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves. We have
Wow.
to. We have to give it to us.
And like I said, that is beautiful words. I hope that the women and men,
And men,
I know men. Okay, so before we go forward, because I want to ask you some fun questions before we finish up. But
okay.
for men now, because men also have issues with their hair, they're losing their hairlines, and do you have any remedies? Do you do anything
Men,
for men as
men,
well?
men been losing their hair. Their hairlines and stuff, and they have the most in the salon. I see they have a lot of dandruff, a lot of flaky stuff coming from their scalp. It's just toxins. It's
Yeah.
buildup. It's the mucus. It's the milk. It's the cheese. It's the dairy.
Mm,
It's the creams. And when they let go of that kind of stuff, they'll stop losing their hair. That so
mm,
you're contaminating the blood, and the blood is what carries the nutrients to the skin, to the papilla. So you're not going to have healthy growing hair and a healthy scalp if you're doing dairy. I promise you, indigenous people lactose intolerant, especially
I am lactose intolerant.
intolerant. Mhm. And so these men just eat anything. They just eat everything. They just everything. And so the bread is a culprit too. So the herbs that we use, we can also use them on the men. You can mix up dandelion, burdock, and astragalus. So you can just mix it up in maybe some vitamin E oil, maybe a little bit of grapeseed oil, mix it up and massage their scalps with it. The other thing is not enough water. We're 75, 78% water, and we don't drink enough water. There's not enough water in our blood, and we have to have the water. The other thing is not eating late at night. You see, most men, I don't know why people think that a big stomach is what, do you know what that's really saying? Oh my God. We're just so
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Even like the young 20-year-old,
they
20 something
got
year
big
old men,
stomachs. Oh
they
my
have like and they're like skinny and they have little guts now. Yeah.
That's the animal. That's the animal flesh. That's the
Wow.
that's not even your fat. That's the fat of
Hmm.
animals living in your intestines. It's
Wow.
it's messed up. And so we just got to do better about don't live to eat. Waking up, oh, I gotta eat. Oh, I need scissor. I need
Right.
eggs. I need my grits. I need this. No, you eat to live so you can be vibrant and feel good and have the energy and the stamina. That's what's missing with us. We get tired. We eat that big burger and then we're ready to go to sleep.
That's right. They call wait. We call it the itis. That's the
The
itis.
itis, that you get the itis, and we're so funny. Just like we call gray hair, that means you're seasoned. Or what do we be saying? Our gray hair is your wise. That's it.
You're
Yeah,
wise.
gray hair is a deficiency.
Wow. Yeah, that's right. You're right. You're right.
Deficiency. What is wrong with her? Baby, that's why I say soul food. We have turned everything that's bad. We some bad fooders, baby. That's why people can't say nothing about black people because black people, we're so powerful. We make everything that's not so good good. We're
Mhm.
powerful beings. And if we could just take that power and really educate ourselves and really learn about who we are, how we're so different, why we're so different, why our hair spirals, why it curls, and why we have the issues we have on this planet. We're the mothers and the fathers. We just got to get sharper. We're sharpening each other's skills right now because we're sharing. We've
I
got to
think
get
I
together.
think the time is now. I feel like right
Mhm.
now I'm noticing there's this. It's like okay, on the surface level, I see what we call diaspora wars going on. I see it,
Diaspora.
but like
Hmm.
I said earlier, on underneath that, from every corner of the earth,
Hmm.
there's this collective mindset where people, I don't care what walk of life you're
Yes.
coming from, indigenously, you're realizing
Yeah.
something's not right. I've
Something.
been knowing it's not right, but I finally am ready to do something. And
Yeah.
I feel like because people feel like they're so strong, they get nervous about this time right now. It's like you can feel this even the concept of the United States,
Hmm.
the concept of all these countries, because you got to remember, even in Africa, they was making countries and splitting up tribes, you
Hmm.
know. So in this, they were doing the same thing here. So it's like from every corner of the earth, I feel that people are starting to realize these systems are artificial. They don't really exist, and they only exist because I make them exist. That's
Yes.
it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and it's a beautiful time, and I feel like
It
if
is.
we're not careful and we don't take hold of this time, we will continue to play into the powers that be. We'll
Yeah.
continue to undermine the strength, and one day saying, I will not participate in this
Hmm.
society no more. I will not be your black dollar, like you said.
That's
I
right.
will not be, like they said, by 2053, black people in this country are supposed to be at a negative, a $0 net worth in this country. You know,
Really?
like they
Wow.
already predict. Yes, they're already like, and they're not even. I'm not gonna say they're predicting. What they're doing, they're manifesting a reality in
Yeah.
this country for people that look like us, our
We need to
family
be
friends.
manifesting a reality
Exactly.
against that. That's what I was talking
Exactly.
about, global atonement. We need to get together and do that because you're right. Speaking it into existence is what they're doing. That's how they're manifesting.
And because if you think about like the movies, the songs.
There you,
Remember,
there you go.
the gangs weren't really a problem until they put in the music.
That's, that's, that's it.
Everything wasn't a problem until they
Sound.
put it in the atmosphere.
Yeah, sounds and waves, and they're just projecting certain things, and they're planting certain seeds. Yeah, we got to get busy because that's how we stay on the side of moving forward movement. Because we've got to do the opposite. We know that they're doing these things, and we've got to project and manifest on our level so that we can have wealth, and we will be wealthy in 53 years from now. We will have strong foundations. We will have schools. We will have banks. We will be successful. But we've got to do it collectively as a people, chanting affirmations. We've got to do the same thing that these people are doing. Study what they have done and do just the opposite. Um,
So I'm gonna ask you four fun questions because I want to get to know the real Miss Goddess Isis. So tell me,
mhm.
what is your favorite song of all time?
My favorite song of all time is um Love's in Need of Love Today. Don't be late. That was
Ooh.
by Stevie Wonder. Do you know that?
Oh, I love Stevie Wonder.
Then you're in right away. I love that song. Hate going around, breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before we're gone too far.
Nice.
Don't you know that love in me? I love that song. That's my favorite song. That song I can play over and over and over and over and over.
You know, my favorite song is "As" by Stevie Wonder. Now,
Really?
yeah, I play that song when all my kids. That song and "Overjoyed," "Overjoyed,"
Wow.
"Overjoyed," "Over
Yeah.
Love."
Yeah.
Those are my
Yes.
favorite.
I love Stevie Wonder. I love
I
him.
love him.
Mm.
Yeah, he's one of my all-time favorite artists. I definitely have to agree with you on that. So tell me, right
Oh.
now though, because I know that might be a little generation gap. Who are you listening to right now though?
I'm
Current.
listen. I listen a lot to India Irie. I listen to I love Lauren Hill. I love Lauren Hill. I also listen to a lot of Isley Brothers. I like a lot of their songs because it's all about love, right?
Mhm.
Who else I like? I like Maxwell, and I like Anthony Hamilton.
Ah,
So those are the ones that, I play a lot.
what
Uh,
about Erica Badu?
I like I like Erica's music. I really do, but I don't listen to a lot of her music at all. But I do like her music. I love her music.
What was
Mm.
that experience like meeting her? Because I've seen that you have done her hair a few times. What was that like meeting her?
When I met Erica at 9 years old, 11 years old, Erica didn't even know she was anybody. I was the first one to tell her that she was even pretty. Um, and when I met Erica, Erica would come around me because I was a light. I was a bright light. I was doing things that she never saw a woman do. I was eating vegan food. She wanted to know, teach me how to make salads. I was burning candles. She wanted to know, yay, why you burn candles? Oh, your kids are so beautiful. I was like a magnet for her. When she was coming around, I was in my gele, my hair wrapped, my baby on my back. That's what she saw, and she fell in love with that. And when she came out, that's what the world saw. They saw Isis in Erica. So it was a very beautiful time in my life because there were many women like Erica that I was mentoring, and I didn't even know I was doing it. I was just giving
Right.
love because that's just what I do. I wasn't thinking that, oh, I'm helping her to become a better woman. Oh, I'm helping her into her understanding of womanhood. Nothing like that. I just took them on as my own babies and gave them everything that I gave my own babies. And that's what that was like. It was a very, very strong attraction between us, like a very strong attraction between us. And so when you see Erica Baidu, the way she first came out, there was a lot of
Yeah.
inspiration from just being around in the vibration, and then it shifted and went to the other thing you see now, the other Erica you see now. But the Erica in the beginning, that was naturally Isis. That was all of my influence, and she says
Wow.
it too. And a lot of my natural hair parades, she would speak and let the world know I channeled this lady's energy all over the world. I mean, what I got from her, I never knew. I never knew people um, felt that way or prayed that way or
Mhm.
moved that way. Just it was all new. And then she started to venture out, and then she met other women that were similar. Yeah.
Wow. And I do remember the early days of Erica Baidu and the head wraps and just everything about
The
it.
afro, all of that.
Afro,
That was Ye Oshun. That was my influence. And
the
she said
micro
that.
braid,
Hmm.
the micro braids as well.
That's
All
my work too. Yeah, all of that was my influence. And then it just shifted to something different because she was tired of people asking her, you remind me of Isis. And all dynamic artists want their own identity. So
that's
she
right.
had to shift away from that a bit, and find herself.
So okay, so you got your favorite song at the moment. Oh well, the favorite artist is at the moment.
Artist. Hmm.
So tell me on an everyday basis, what is Isis eating? Because I know everybody's like, what do you eat? You say you're holistic, you're vegan. What are you
Yeah,
eating,
that's
Isis?
what I eat. I eat this. I eat this every day. I just like
Really?
it. Mhm.
Coconut oil. So you just eat it like
Mhm. There's
wow.
fatty acids. Very good for your body. Very good for your skin. I love this. I eat every day. You're gonna see me eat greens. Do I have
Uh-huh.
any? I ate today. What did I eat today? I ate olives,
Hmm.
black olives, avocado, seaweed. You know what seaweed looks like?
Come on, show us, Isis.
This is your iron from the sea. I
Right.
mix this
Mhm.
in my greens. I eat my avocados. I have my artichokes, my just simple stuff that I can just munch on. I have my olives, black olives. I don't do the green olives. And then I'll eat greens. I love greens. I love chard. I love
Yeah.
chard. I love dandelion greens. You're going to see me eat kale greens. That's pretty much what I eat on a daily basis. Now I've incorporated uh, uh, what is it called? Wild caught salmon because
Oh,
I was eating tofu. I don't believe in eating it anymore. I
oh,
don't
for real.
want no tofu, Beyond Burger, um,
Yeah.
none of that fake meat or anything like that.
Order.
I'd rather
Yeah.
just
Not
stick
good.
with a little bit just a little bit of salmon, or maybe what's that other one in the little can? Um,
Sardine.
Sardines. That's
Sardine.
it. That's it. And I only eat that when my body is craving that, because I raised the kids on tofu. Tofu is not, it's not good for us. And beyond burgers and all these vegetarian hypes that's going on around the country right now with people, I feel sorry for them, because yeah, you just shouldn't be eating that stuff. I don't do rice. I don't do beans. If I do beans, they're gonna be beans like maybe I know that the lentils are not very good for you, but because they're full of lectins. But I'll go to an Ethiopian store and get, or a Mediterranean store and get some, some beans, because it's cold. I notice that I want different foods when the seasons change.
Right.
So when it's cold, I want the potatoes. I also eat these kind of potatoes. They're the best in the whole wide world. I
Ooh,
don't
let me see.
I don't eat oh, I don't have any more. Oh, they're purple yam, but not these. But I eat the yam.
Okay.
You're not going to see me eat the other kind of white potato, or whatever what do they
Mhm.
call it? Irish potato.
The
I'm not
Irish.
eating the Irish potato, but the purple yam,
Yeah.
it tastes like sugar. I thought I bought some tonight, but I must have put them back. Yeah, I think I put it back. So that's it. That's all I eat. I'll eat some broccoli tomorrow. I bought me a cabbage, so I'll make some cabbage.
Okay.
If when I'm in Atlanta, I do more juicing. So I juice celery. I juice ginger, green apple,
Mm.
and I use a little cayenne pepper. Oh, and I put like a lime with it. But
Ooh,
I'll do more of that when I'm where my juicer is. But basically, I keep it really light. I just eat light foods. I had what do you call it, naked earlier before I
uh-huh.
did the photo shoot today. So normally I don't do the nakeds. I just do this one. This is all I drink all the time. Every day you're gonna see me drink this. The guy that came up with this
Ah,
concept,
ah.
fermented mushroom.
Mm.
It's like a tea, but it's fermented. He cured
Right.
his mother of cancer with this drink. I don't drink nothing else. Water and this. That's all I have,
I have
unless
to
I'm
try that.
doing.
I've seen that before. I've never tried it though.
It kills your hunger. It just makes you feel full. It makes you feel satisfied. I don't know if it's the tea. I think it's the mushroom tea that
Oh,
really that satisfies your hunger. And
wow.
it's good for your gut. It's good for your digestive system. It's good for your blood. And I don't do anything else. You're not going to see me do sodas. You're not going to see me do. I don't want any of that stuff in my body. And just when I wake up in the morning time, I'll do some teas. What teas I do is cloves, ginger, a little bit of cinnamon, and I may put a bag of Swiss Crisp in my tea. Well, it's
Mm.
called Smooth Move, and let it steep. And I use my lime, and I drink it. I don't even use sugar or sweetener or anything like that. I just want the herbs. Just give me the herbs. Sometimes
Right.
I'll do just the water and the herbs like the dandelion, the burdock, and the astragalus. That's it. That's
Wow.
all I want.
Beautiful. Listen, I hope y'all guys are taking notes. I'm taking notes because I'm gonna try that drink, the
Oh,
synergy.
you gonna
I,
love this.
yeah, I want to try that.
This is a great drink. It
Do you
really
take
is.
do you take sea moss or do you
I
are you
love sea moss. Yes,
okay.
I take sea moss. I take maca. Let's see. And I do chlorophyll.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
maca.
Mac- yeah, I love my macaroon. Yes. And my bladder wag.
Mm-hmm. And I do this, and where's my chlorophyll? Where's my chlorophyll? I do this every day.
Fish seed, oh, flaxseed, yeah, flaxseed oil, okay.
I don't see my chlorophyll.
Yeah, we're getting the whole tour of her kitchen. And I'm taking
Yeah.
notes because I have to
You know
rearrange
what?
a lot of
That's
things.
another thing we could do is go around the houses of Americans and clean their kitchens out. It's sad. This is how the kitchen looks. This is my god sister. She suffers with high blood pressure and just so many different diseases. But this is how her cabinet looks. All of this is
Process. A lot of processed foods.
all bad. All
Oh,
bad. Yeah. I said, oh my God, I can make you well. But we have to throw away everything in your closet.
yeah.
She's like, no, you can't I said, you need to throw it away. If you want to feel better, oh baby. Oh baby. Mm-mm. Yeah.
All right. So, and one last question. What is a hair care product that you swear by that we definitely have to try?
Sisters of Isis. Sisters of Isis hair care cream, hair care leave-in conditioner, and shampoo. I swear by it. I always, I have any down here? I don't have any down here. I always demonstrate to people by eating a little bit of the cream and spraying the spray in my mouth. It's safe.
Wow.
It's beautiful. It's full of nothing but herbs and minerals. It's full of life. I love the product. It has what am I trying to say? Biotin, your silica. It has your aloe vera, your tea tree, your which other one we use? Tea tree and rosemary. It just it's infused with so many good products that you can not only brush your teeth with, wash your face with the shampoo we use to brush our teeth. You can use it for beards. You can use it for your scalp. You can use it as a bath wash. It's just
Wow.
it is the most best kept secret on the market. I don't even have it in the big stores or anything. I only make it for my clients, and they tell somebody and they tell somebody. And I tell you, I'm not doing a very good job at it because my son is the manufacturer of it, and we get more orders than we can keep up with. So we got to
Mm.
do something about that.
Right. So, but since that is the case now, because I think this is where formulas start to change. Once they start to mass produce,
It's gonna change, baby. That's
they'll
right.
change.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's where we are for now. If we could keep it going the way it is without adding any additives, and people swear by it, they say it cured their eczema, it made their hair grow, their children's scars went away, it got rid of ringworm. It's very
Wow.
good because it's very simple product, and that's all we need. Over the counter stuff, all this hype around it, they got the best marketing plan around these different products. They are horrible.
Yeah.
They really are bad for us and our skin. But we use them because, like, especially for my biracial kids' hair, the mothers say, well, this is the only thing that makes her hair stay soft for about 4 or 5, maybe 6 hours. But
Wow.
I introduced them to my products. You will not see them go away from them. I have white parents with black children that's what they buy now, and I'm training them to work with their child's hair differently and not be so aggressive and just desperate to find some. We need something. No, just use your food. You need something. Put some avocado. Put some avocado on your hair. You need something saturated with some coconut oil. You need something, go get you some lemons and some limes and squeeze them and pour it on your hair. Use an egg on your hair. The stuff we eat, we're really supposed to be bathing and using it for our hair. You want some softer strands, use some milk on your hair. So that's the thing that we teach and try to share with people. You have everything you need right before you're right in your reach. But,
Right.
we want to go and people got money to make things seem bigger than what they really are. Yeah.
Right. I definitely have to agree that everything that we need is in our kitchen. If it's not in your kitchen, you need to get it
There
in
you
your
go.
kitchen.
You want to get rid of eczema and dandruff, use you some baking soda. You want to take a
Hmm.
spiritual bath, take you a baking soda bath. I'm
Really?
telling you this right in your kitchen. Every and anything, like you said, it's right there. We need it. You want to clean your scalp, use apple cider vinegar. And don't forget to drink some apple cider vinegar, just a little bit of it. I don't know why
So
we
what
use
does
so.
the baking soda do for the eczema and stuff?
It kills the fungus. It's like it
Oh,
kills the germ that's on the skin. It dries it out. Just takes all of it out. And it does it overnight too. You put it on there, anything in your mouth, just put your baking soda there and it somehow it gets rid of the germ like quickly. It draws it out. Kind of like how we use green clay for green clay also draws inflammation out of your skin and out of your mouth. Green clay is really good for brushing your teeth as well, and
wow.
just as well as this coconut oil is really good for your teeth and your tongue. This is where digestion began, right here with your tongue. So using this, say you've eaten something and your mouth start hurting, or you ate a bunch of pineapples and you can feel, how it's stinging. Just
Yeah.
take your coconut oil and put it on your tongue and let it stay there. It'll heal it up just like that. I'm like a miracle. I'm like, wow, what happened? But I know not to eat too many of those things though, because yeah,
Wow.
I'm allergic to them.
I
Yeah.
want to try that because I've only done coconut oil because for they call it pulling, so it pulls the bacteria off your teeth. You
Mm-hmm.
don't really have to brush. You just swish your mouth with coconut oil, and it will literally
Uh,
clean.
mm-hmm.
But now you're saying to even like just put on your tongue and just digest.
Mm. And eat it. Good for your digestion. The same thing with olive oil. Yeah, we take these things for granted, but we have all our medicine right here in this kitchen.
That
Yeah,
is.
we need. Yep.
So tell me, what are some upcoming projects you have that we can find you, and also what are your if you have a website, your social medias, where can people
Mhm.
find Miss Isis?
My naturally ISIS page has been hacked. I really feel bad. Like they made a new naturally ISIS page. So I'm telling y'all out there, only have one page. The second page is the hacker, is the impersonator. He has over 2,000 followers now. He's called over 500 and something of my people, telling them that they needed a reading done and to send him $88. I know it can't be nothing but one of my extended family members in Africa. I hate to say that about them. They just need to stop all that. I don't even know why they do that. But you can find me at naturallyisis.com. My upcoming projects are going to be coming really soon. I'm doing an Oshun festival. It's going to be so beautiful. This would be my 11th year. And when I say Oshun festival, it's like a love festival. And I'm bringing women together and we're learning
I'm
how
coming.
to.
I'm coming. Okay.
Okay, okay,
I'm coming.
okay, okay. The
I
hearts,
will
and it's going
fly.
to be really
Okay.
beautiful. Okay, and that's coming up in April, and then I have the Crown Kids parade that's coming up in June. I have my book out there. You guys can go buy the book on Amazon, Stolen Crown. I would love for you to use it. It's a very good instructional type book. And then you have these stories that all these millennials were telling about how they came into the knowledge of creating an open, I see crowds, creating respectful and open world for their natural hair. So yeah, so those are the three things that are on my list to do. I'm working on some fundraising type charitable events, like maybe mental health charitable gala to raise money for just like maybe fashion to make to raise money for my school, because a lot of people come and they just don't have the money for the school, and I'm working with a whole group of people to start like a virtual training for people all over the world. I'm ready to step into my greatness. I'm ready to see what's all next in store. I'm excited. There's something great in store for me, and I'm open and ready. I tell you, it just brings tears to me my heart, because there's just so many people who need the love, and so many people need the guidance, and that's what I want to do for the next 6 months coming. Yeah.
I am so proud. Let me just say this: I'm proud of you. Okay,
Oh,
because you know why? Like for women that are a little older, sometimes they feel like that's it, and they don't continue to chase their aspirations, right? And but see what they don't realize, and this is something that I had to learn, like even like dealing with like my own mom, right? And I know I don't want to be too personal with her business, but you know, I can, you can kind of tell when your parent is getting at that age where it's just like, you know, if this is it, this is it. I'm just gonna live this way for the rest of my life, right? But they
mhm.
don't realize that us children, no matter what age we are, we're always looking for you to reach whatever highest level you want to reach, you
Mm,
know? So
yeah,
I'm definitely
yeah,
that way, like with my parents,
yes.
like me and my dad right now, me and him are business partners. We I was
Mm.
asking about CMOS because we have a holistic company and we've been selling CMOS for almost like 20 some years.
You are
So
you make it up already? It's already made?
we sell it raw, in the raw form. Yeah,
Ah.
so we sell it like wholesale it, and then we sell it to smaller businesses, and they can do like, we have businesses that make the gel. We have businesses that make smoothies. We have we even have one of our longtime customers. They make ice cream from it. You know, yeah, ice cream.
Wow, that's
Yeah, so like,
beautiful.
yeah, so like, and but for my dad, like he's never stopped being like an innovator, and you don't understand, like that motivates me, like
I
even in
love
his
him.
70s.
That's right.
Yes, like even in his 70s, he's an innovator. And the same thing for my mom. It's like,
Mm,
I want you to be the innovator, you know, continue to chase your dreams, continue to do what makes you happy. Because like I said, no matter what age we are as children, we're always looking up to you. We're always looking up to you. So to
thank
see that you are still for your children, I'm pretty sure even when the time gets rough for them, if they see that no matter what life threw at you,
that lady right
and
there. Yeah.
reality, it don't matter what it was, you
Yep.
have never
Yeah.
stopped being a
That's
goddess. And
true.
that's why I say I am proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, no
It takes a
problem.
lot of courage. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's so
No,
easy
I
to
thank
give
you.
up. Yeah.
Thank you. And like I said, I thank you. I thank the older generation of women who are paving the way for us. And you know, like I said, when I want to take these extensions out, you know, I wear my natural hair. I want my
Yeah.
kids to see my natural hair, and I
Yeah.
I encourage my kids to wear their natural hair. Even if my baby's a little smaller. I have a 4-year-old and a 9-month old, but for my son,
Mm.
you know, I like to sponge his little curls and make them moist, and I make little
Mm.
oils and stuff for him for his own hair because
I
it gets very.
wanna
Mhm.
I wanna put you in touch with Taliba.
Okay.
My daughter, she lives in Harlem.
Oh wow, she's here.
Yeah. And I
Well,
would
listen. Hi, sis. Tell her to come. Yes.
okay. Okay, so
I
please,
do
like
very much.
after
Uh-huh.
this, text me your number so I can give it
Okay.
to Taliba, and I'll give you Taliba's number too.
I'm gonna definitely do that because I do very much in natural hair care. and I'm very in tune with Indigenous people worldwide. And I want, like I said, I want us to, I want us to understand our power. And I feel like sometimes we're just second guessing. We're self-sabotaging at this point. We know we can do it. We're just self-sabotaging, you know, and it doesn't make any sense. So I want to say once again, thank you again, Goddess Isis. You know, in this conversation alone, you know, I had to stop myself and get emotional a few times because I really love to see women who are just happily on their journey, and no matter what, who comes in and out of our path. Because trust me, there's many people that come in and out of our path, but that will never stop Isis. You know, that would never stop you. And I'm telling you, I've never met you. I knew your story. I knew everything that you were about, and when I put the name to the story, I said, "Oh, that's her."
Wow.
And I wasn't even sure if you were going to respond to my email. I was like, the worst she can say is no, so I'm gonna just do it anyway.
That's right. That's
so
right.
I said I'm gonna see if she'll be down for this because I like I said, a lot of us, we are, I'm not gonna lie, we're looking for mentors. We're looking for women and men too. We're looking for men to be strong in their will and who they are. And a lot of us are trying to find ourselves. And in that journey, we just ask that you be graceful with us as we go on this journey with you to this rebirth that we're entering right now. So thank you so much, Miss Isis. I love you. Thank you for being here.